Alright, hey everyone, okay, now we can get started properly, and pretend the last several minutes didn't happen. I am Super Chain Station H, I'm an autistic gamer and writer, and today we're going to be playing two Pokemon spin-offs for the Game Boy Color, sometime in May. I haven't decided when. At one point I thought I had a clear idea of when, I'm not sure when. We will be, for my 4-year anniversary, playing, of streaming on Twitch, be playing Pokemon Red, but for now, I've put off streaming for the past month to work on a video that I presented on Twitch yesterday here while I was in chat, a 4-hour video essay type thing about autism. But today we're going to be playing a Pokemon Puzzle Challenge and Pokemon Trading Card Game for Game Boy Color. We'll be playing these games with the Analog Pocket. And neither of these were games I actually owned back in the day, but they are games I had on the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console. So let's get started. Where is my... There we go. Yeah, it's been a long time. I kind of had to recommission this layout. It's been a very... Not since, I think, 2021 or 2022 at the latest have I... Or I think I haven't played this since early 2022, so it's exciting to put it back in our lineup again. Yeah. Wanted to take a little break from Pokemon Puzzle League. Now, I've done some new things with my stream. One of the things I said I'd do yesterday, I've been meaning to do it for months actually, is adjust the bit rate that I'm broadcasting the stream at. I've reduced it significantly, but not in a way that should result in any tangible loss in quality for the viewers. We'll start hard and we'll start slow and easy, and let it manually get up. Hey, Terra Firma Samus, how you doing? I am Super Chain Station H, and I've been streaming since the May of 2020. I started something to do during the pandemic, and now I've come into this as a major hobby and something I've been very passionate about. I play lots of retro stuff, but I do have played some modern stuff here and there. My preference is to play my games in a manner that reflects their official release history. And by that I mean, like, I'm playing an original cartridge of Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, but if this game had been released on the Nintendo Switch's Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy app, I would play through that too. Mini systems like official mini systems like the Super NES Classic Edition, or cartridge re-releases such as Limited Run, but the thing is, for a lot of games are so obscure and scarce and rare that unofficial preservation methods are the only real means of playing them practically. And so when the situation arises, we will resort to unofficial preservation methods, but I try to prefer their real in a manner that reflects their official history. But yeah, it's good to see you in here. Yeah, I'm glad you walked in after I had some technical troubles. I created some new layouts earlier today. I actually took a month hiatus from streaming to work on a project relating to autism. A video that I put up on my YouTube. If you want to take a look at... Where's my info and links? There we go. There's my VODs, there's my socials. But yeah, about 80% or so of my streams have been archived over on Twitch, on YouTube. I used to be more of a YouTuber. Nowadays, I mostly use YouTube just to preserve my VODs. It's funny how a lot of YouTubers, or a lot of streamers, whether on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, wherever, that have, they stream thousands of times, have these big audiences, the overwhelming majority of their material is lost media because they leave them on Twitch, they don't preserve them to repost anywhere except for little clips or things they might make into TikToks or YouTube shorts. But I personally, I have a bit of a background, not professionally, but a personal hobby of media preservation, like old VHS tapes. Like one year, I've done this a few times, where I've taken a bunch of old VHS tapes from the 80s and 90s from my childhood and have preserved them to digital format, and for television broadcasts, I've taken all the commercials out and run them right here on, right here on Twitch, because like Pat Contry, for instance, Pat the NES Punk, he does a lot of streams just of nostalgic commercials. I have done watch parties through Amazon, and also watch parties of stuff that isn't really being copyright enforced, or a lot of great stuff out there that is in the public domain, where you don't have to worry about copyright problems at all. But yeah, one of the main games I've been really excited to play is the original Pokémon, and this is a bit of a lead up to this. I'm gonna be doing that sometime in May. It's funny, it's either gonna be very early May or very late May. There's a lot of new things I want to get in line, things I've been planning for years. Now to take my glasses off for a moment. My stream does have ongoing lore, if you are interested in that. Right now I'm signifying it by whenever my glasses are on, that's when, yeah, I know what you meant, Azurus, don't worry. Yeah, when my glasses are on, I'm technically in character, technically, the lore's going on. I've had a progressive storyline that's been going on. I've been planning this for years, but I started it in late December, about an evil AI construct that's spamming to promote the XLO token, the inflation-free, non-legal tender digital currency of the future, that he will go to any means to get me to promote in various means, even if it means him creating a creepy website to try to get me to buy things on. And the XLO tokens are represented in my stream as my channel point totals, as the channel points for my viewers can spend. There are a lot of other more ambitious channel point redemptions I will have in the future. Like, for instance, not with this game. Azurest has redeemed the Sodor lore reading. Now, the Sodor lore reading is, I'm going to, for about a minute or so, read a little lore from the Railway series, which is the children's book series that started in the 1940s. That was the inspiration for the Thomas the Tank Engine television series in the 80s up until modern day, technically. And if you've never thought that something like Thomas the Tank Engine could have deep lore, you'd be surprised at the level of depth. So we're going to read a little bit. We're going to read about the Sodor Aluminum Works. And this is all official canon, and this canon does include something known as the Church of the Devil. The backstory for Thomas the Tank Engine includes bloody battles, wars, criminal activity, political intrigue, and stuff that is not really represented in the television series. But they did really flesh out this world very thoroughly. So the Sodor Aluminum Works. Beyond the town station and goods yard, the line continues for a mile or so before fanning out into the sidings at the aluminum works. The Sodor Aluminum Company, a subsidiary of the British Aluminum Company, was formed in 1926 to own and operate the power company above mentioned. The carriage of alumina from Tidmouth to Peelgodred, and of ingots to England via Barrow, has been a steady source of steady revenue for the Northwestern Railway. This, together with the general goods and passenger traffic, enables the Peelgodred branch to more than pay its way. So, thank you, Azurus, for redeeming your premium tokens on that. And now, back to the game. I can start back with the game now while we wait for my broadcast software to catch up with my scene transition. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, there's this ridiculous delay of up to a minute when I switch scenes and back again. Normally, if I'm on a scene for a minute, switching to the next one is instantaneous. But yeah, I'm very thrilled to have the following that I have. I have my active chatters. I also have who I like to call the Silent Squad, people who are maybe listening to my stream and podcast form while they're driving or doing chores, or while they're doing other things on the computer, or just watching while not actively participating in chat. And I know that annoys some streamers. For me personally, I'm really honored to be part of someone's time and attention, no matter what form that takes. And just having, I'd rather have, you know, a dozen or half a dozen viewers who are really into me than like 100 or 200 or 300 people that barely care at all. And I've really, so I've been thrilled to have these last nearly 4 years of this nice little community. My first game I've streamed, I'm very excited to have been able to stream in that manner. My first game I streamed back in May 2020 was Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm very happy that I was able to stream my very first streamed game using my own childhood copy of Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear. In fact, I have it here. I have it right here in the adapter that lets it sit in my analog pocket. But this is the copy of Sonic the Hedgehog that my parents gave me back in 1991, the night to keep me busy while I got my hair braided for the very first time. And so it was a real honor to be able to share a relatively obscure version of Sonic not many people know or have seen before, and to be able to do it using the very copy that my parents gave me back in 91. Now, Calaca Boy is mentioning that the Disney parks, are cracking down on guests who abuse their disability access service. A YouTuber they watched said that their service is for autistic guests who can't stand in lines. Is standing in line something that some autistic individuals have issue with? That's not, like, for a little background, anyone who doesn't know, I was diagnosed back in 94, and the thing is, there are lots of different, like, when you talk about someone's profile, the list of attributes, characteristics, things they could do, things they can't do, things they may be able to do easier than non-autistic people, things that may be incredibly hard that non-autistic people do easily. That list, that profile of characteristics is so unique to each individual person, and it's also possible that someone who a lot of people who have diagnoses in what might be considered the neurodiversity range, with neurodiversity being something that is not something that would appear in a formal diagnosis, but just a sort of a concept, a conceptual umbrellaing of all sorts of different ways, whether, you know, for positive or negative, that someone having, in terms of neurodivergent characteristics, having a brain that functions differently than a typical person, which includes both abilities and disabilities, things that are, you know, might be considered diseases, things that are not diseases. But a lot of people who may have autism or similar or adjacent disabilities may have many other things as well that sort of form their profile of things that they're having difficulty with. So it's unfortunate that it seems like potential people may be acting in bad faith to take advantage of disability accommodations in the Disney parks to skip lines and the like. So, yeah, I can't comment in further detail unless I did a lot of research on the topic, and with the limited time I have, I'm gonna tell you, the reason I did not do the audio, I did the audio check for my stream when I was having those audio problems. I did the audio check for my stream, and then I realized that my microphone was off. So, and I didn't have time to redo the audio check, so I just had to wing it and hope that I had everything right, and it turns out I didn't. Because when I did the audio check, when the failed audio check was done, I had about 2 minutes before I had to go live to do my my social media announcements and my turn on my hold screen with my 10-minute countdown that I like to do. So, yeah, for my taste in games, my games have tended to be family-friendly. I don't consider myself a family streamer, I don't consider myself a child-friendly streamer, but I do enjoy putting on shows that I would have been able to watch as a kid, or that my mom would have been okay with me watching when I was a kid. I like my chat, if you check the official rules with the rules command or on my about page here on Twitch. I tend to keep my vocabulary PG-13, though yesterday, due to me commenting on an interview with the mother of an autistic child that included a number of F-bombs, I think 90% of the F-bombs in my whole 4 years of streaming were last night. alone due to the content I was watching, and I chose not to censor what they said. But yeah, I tend to prefer PG-13. It's not officially strictly enforced for now. If I need to in the future, hopefully I don't. But for me, I think in my personal taste and in my show, I tend to play family-friendly games. I think the most severe game I played in terms of content level would have been Final Fantasy VII, which I only played through the first 6 or 7 hours of, past the first city, the city of Midgar, which is like sort of the introduction, and then I played a couple hours beyond that. There's a scenario where Cloud has to infiltrate a brothel by dressing up as a woman to go undercover, and when he encounters the brothel owner, he physically threatens him rather severely. Do I play any arcade games? You know, it's funny. I really don't play. I play when it comes to arcade games. In regards to score attack games where the point of the game is to get a high score, something like this, but more truly so, something like shoot 'em ups. I love shoot 'em ups, but I really haven't played them in years. I've had Ikaruga. I made a layout for Ikaruga. I have not used it yet. That's something I'd like to play before the end of the summer. I haven't played fighting games really, not since the early 90s, playing Street Fighter 2 at the barber shop in town. When I was a little kid, I'd get my butt kicked, but you were all little kids, and the bigger kids, they were, looking back, they were rather courteous to us, letting us play to begin with, and not beating us up too bad. In 91, when I got my Game Gear, I got Sonic the Hedgehog, the copy I showed you, and the Game Gear version of Mortal Kombat. And I was a kid, but the graphics of Mortal Kombat, especially on the Game Gear, it wasn't really something my parents were concerned about. And compared to nowadays, like looking at model Mortal Kombat, it's like oh my goodness, like gracious, like now this is worth getting upset over a young child playing. The fact that, you know, the graphics even on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo of Mortal Kombat then, looking back on that, it's like parents are really scandalized over this. Me and my brother, we love Mortal Kombat. My parents took us. Mortal Kombat was the only R-rated movie no, it was PG-13, excuse me. It's one of the, but yeah, my parents didn't care so much about that. My parents were more concerned with, they understood that we weren't going to go around ripping each other's spines out or dropping cars on each other after playing Mortal Kombat. They were more concerned with things like, if a game had sexist content, that's something they'd be more concerned about. They didn't really consider the ridiculous violence of Mortal Kombat or the comparatively tamer but not so severe violence of Street Fighter. They really didn't consider that imitatable behavior. Like, we'd go in the backyard and jump on the trampoline and pretend to be, Street Fighter characters. It was nothing serious. But in terms of fighting games, I really have fallen off of them. The closest thing to a fighting game I played was Smash Brothers. The last Smash Brothers game I got was the one for 3DS, and I got that for 3DS because I was in college at the time. Now, mind you, I was in college I attended college much later into adulthood than most people would, so don't like the fact that I was in college. I was in college when Smash Brothers for 3DS came out. But I was old enough to have played Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear when it first came out. And it's funny because I'm in this interesting age range where I remember watching, the original G.I. Joe, the original My Little Pony on network television, the original Tiny Toon Adventures, Batman the Animated Series. But then when Pokémon came out, I wasn't overage to enjoy Pokemon at the time it came out, so I really have my foot in two worlds in terms of the era I grew up in, where I can relate to someone almost generationally older than me and someone almost generationally younger than me, and still have a lot in common in terms of the media we were consuming. By the way, I am from the United States of America. I grew up in an odd little suburb, well, not suburb, on the outskirts of New York City, and I could see the subway train from my back window, and from my local subway station, I could see rabbits hopping across the sand dunes by the ocean. So it's a very unique experience of growing up in the city at the time I did. I was fortunate to have grown up in the city before 9/11. And then I also had a lot of, I had an urban childhood in the city, a suburban childhood out in the suburbs. I kind of got to enjoy a lot. I've no longer live in the New York area. I've since been sort of traveling around the country, not really being nailed down too hard. Man, we're closing in on 20 minutes on this. I love starting slow with these marathon modes and letting things just gradually get slower, get faster and faster. You know, kind of like being the metaphorical frog in the pot of water. Now, this isn't true frog behavior, but you know, the sort of axiom, metaphor of the frog in the water, in a pot of water, and it starts off, you know, cold, and they very slowly turn up the heat, and the frog doesn't notice by the time it's boiling to death and being cooked alive. And that's how I am with these. I like to start slow and then go faster and faster. We'll do this a couple of times, and then... Now, Pokemon trading card game here. This is not a game I owned on the Game Boy Color. It is a game that I had on the 3DS Virtual Console, and I made a wonderful one of I love sea serpents as a sort of creature archetype, and I made a sort of sea serpent deck with lots of Dragonairs and Gyarados and Lapras, which I consider sea serpent adjacent, more of a sort of, if you consider this sort of Plesiosaur Loch Ness Monster kind of archetype in the sea serpent category. Unfortunately, it's only we're only dealing with Gen 1 Pokemon in the Pokemon trading card game, so there's no Milotic or the other sea serpent type monsters, or maybe Gorbius even, if you could consider Gorbius. But Gorbius is like little. Gorbius is more like a small eel. I wouldn't consider Gorbius a sea serpent, as it will, but for the purpose of creating a deck of cards around a certain theme, I guess that could make sense. Yeah, but I played a lot of modern games too. Now, like for instance, in the lead up to Metroid Dread's release, I played Metroid Zero Mission and Metroid Fusion for the first time since like 2004. But then when I played Metroid Dread, I was like, this is too, Yeah, this is kind of a derivative of Pokemon Puzzle League. Now, this particular game did start off as a non-Pokemon related Game Boy version of Panel de Pon, which is the series that became known as Puzzle League in the English-speaking territories. But they canceled it and ended up reworking it into this game here. And apparently Pokemon Puzzle League, which oddly enough was a Western-only release, was a game that was released in North America, but not in Japan. I think it was released in Europe too. And there's this interesting thing where both Pokemon Puzzle League and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Pokemon Puzzle League being for N64, Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine being on the Genesis and Game Gear, those were both puzzle game spin-offs of non-puzzle game video game source material, where they were also the only games in those series to be based on the cartoon adaptation of those franchises and not on the games themselves. Because Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which we haven't played on stream yet, was based on Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the American Sonic cartoon put out by Deke in the early 90s. And you might notice by all this discussion of game history, I like to place emphasis on the historical value of the games I play. Like, for instance, there we go. There we go. We gotta do a little cleaning up, get those blocks down. Oh, it wasn't fast enough to get the combo there. But I like to, when I play retro games, I like to read their manuals. If there are any promotional video tapes about those games that have been preserved, I'll run those tapes. I will pull out vintage magazines that from the times the games were released to read period magazine coverage, not only of the game itself, but to look at the gaming landscape. Like back in December, I was going through the first 2 games of the Kirby's Dream Land series, Kirby's Dream Land 1 and 2 for Game Boy, and I was reading Nintendo Power and EGM and GamePro magazines from the time period those games were released. And it's interesting seeing, like when we were I was playing Super Mario RPG using my Super NES Classic Edition. Okay, hold on. We are, this is 40 Line is calling us. So we're going to, pick him up and see what he has to say. I only talked to him once before. But, oh, gosh.
Hey there, Edge. It's me, 40 Line.
Hey, 40 Line.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I haven't been streaming for about a month. I was working on an important project.
Yes. I knew your presentation regarding uncommon human brain variations was important. Filter to prevent the advanced controller who has been interfering with your stream from seeing your broadcast or contacting you.
Well, I really appreciate that, 40 Line, because last night's stream went great.
Be aware, however, that the protection against the advanced controller will expire following your day. Starting next week, you will need to be prepared to deal with him.
If I have to.
Next stream, I will contact you about how we will continue our plan to end the advanced controller's reign of
terror?
Well, just annoying crap and gaslighting.
Yeah, that works too, to describe it.
Goodbye for now, Super Train Station H, Human of the Redemption Center 1 Universal Membrane.
Oh, okay. That went pretty smoothly. Yeah, 40 Line is, he's my hero. The advanced controller, which is the AI construct that, has been harassing me over crypto nonsense. I don't know what's going on. I know 40 Line puts this filter on my stream so that the advanced controller can't see or hear me. And I'm just trying to get back to, my game for now. I don't know how long his filter thing lasts. I mean, it's kind of redundant considering he put on some secondary filters so the advanced controller can't call me today. But, yeah, so in the meantime... Oh, here we go. So, this is the weird, creepy phone that the advanced controller sent me to talk to me on. And nowadays, this new person, or computer, whatever they are, 40 Line, called me last week. Yeah, so the advanced controller, he got pissed at me. He got very upset because he forced me to listen to this propaganda recording about the XLO token, his little cryptocurrency thing. And I told him, like, I want nothing to do with this. He got mad and remotely bricked my Nintendo Switch. And I was playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong for Nintendo Switch at the time, so I just switched to my Analog Pocket and played the Game Boy Advance version, since I think he could only affect consoles of mine that are linked to the internet, and my Analog Pocket doesn't have an internet connection. But then next stream, 40 Line called and said, listen, I know this advanced controller being has been bothering you. I'm going to try to help you get rid of him, but for now I'm going to fix your Nintendo Switch. But he said it was very important that the advanced controller does not know that I'm talking to 40 Line. So, but I'm talking about him freely now because if the advanced controller cannot see or hear my stream, I really don't have to worry about him finding out. Because we're trying to keep the element of surprise alive in terms of figuring out what's going on. Hopefully sometime hopefully by the time of my 4-year anniversary stream, we can actually defeat the advanced controller. Whatever that might mean, I don't know. This all started because I made the mistake of actually responding to an online radio ad for this cryptocurrency. No, 40 Line is who just called me. The advanced controller is the one that is the admonitor, or I guess the commissioner of that weird cryptocurrency that's now my channel point system. Yeah, it is kind of like a soap opera, if a soap opera was told entirely in the form of phone calls. But yeah, if anyone's interested, I do have a playlist on YouTube of all of the moments when these different AI characters have called me. And it's currently up to date, aside from what just happened now. So next stream, which is probably, I expect it'll be next Friday. We know that we could expect the advanced... Oh, we're so close. I have no idea what defeating the advanced controller will be like. I really don't want to do anything I don't want to hurt him or anything, but he broke my Nintendo Switch, and if it wasn't for 40 line, I guess I would have had to pay out of pocket. No, actually, excuse me. I forgot this fact, but when the advanced controller called back the next stream, I was pissed at him, and he's like, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "You broke my Switch," and he's like, "No, I didn't. Like, I could never have done such a thing." And I think he either is trying to gaslight me, or he forgot, or had the fact that happened deleted from his memory. But he was trying to find a technician that would repair my Switch that I could spend my XLO tokens on, which I have 1,400. You notice that, yeah, I'm mining these in real time, and along with my viewers, I have access to like a weird online store, and that was written in another language. That, yeah, let's give this another shot. Let's give this another shot. Yeah, we'll do this one more time, and then maybe get into some of the try to beat the storyline aspect. Because we never completed this game in terms of completing the single-player progressive story campaign where you face off against other trainers like that in the form of the gym leaders and the Elite Four. I wonder if I have a saved game in that sense. But yeah, what I was getting at before 40 line called is that I have, oh yeah, like when I was playing Super Mario RPG, which I was actually playing before they announced the remake, and I only got as far as I got back in 2001 when I was originally playing it on my Super Nintendo, before they announced the remake, and I stopped when they announced the remake because I didn't know how I'd plan to progress. I decided I'm going to continue to play the original version on Super Nintendo using my SNES Classic Edition. But when that happens, I will go ahead and continue from where I left off. I will not be playing the Switch version. I just decided against it. I'd rather play the historical version. But when I was reading the magazines, like Nintendo Power, we found in this 1996 edition of Nintendo Power, we found the earliest ever that I'm aware of official acknowledgement by Nintendo of the existence of Pokémon. And because I did not have Nintendo Power at this time, I did not have a home console. My first home system, I'd play Super NES, Genesis at friends' houses, and it tended to be the case that my family would have the Nintendo consoles, and my friends would have the Sega consoles, and I had Game Gear. I wasn't a Sega fanboy, but I was more Sega aligned, more familiar with Sonic and how Sega did things. But when it came time for, to read about Super Mario RPG as it was covered in Nintendo Power, we found the earliest mention by Nintendo of America of Pokemon, and there's just a little side thing saying, oh, there's an RPG called Pocket Monsters for Game Boy in Japan. It's becoming very popular, and you can trade, you know, between two different editions of the game to get a full collection of monsters. And that's basically the same, a little blurb, a little offhanded mention that wasn't even a full-fledged article of that type, was something that I read in either EGM or EGM Squared, as it would have been known at that point before it became Expert Gamer, where I was like, oh wow, an RPG, like a monster training RPG for Game Boy, and you use the link cable to trade to get more to get a full set of monsters, and there are different editions. That sounds really interesting, but I didn't think that game would ever come out in North America. I really didn't. So when it did come out, I was when a game came out, I really wasn't that interested. What I was interested in was when the anime came out, a few weeks after the anime came out. It was around the time, I don't know if Ghost of Maiden's Peak is the earliest episode I could say for sure that was among the early episodes. I don't know if it was the first one I saw, but if it wasn't, it would have been the second or third episode I saw. And this is Ghost of Maiden's Peak on its original run at like 5 a.m. on Warner Brothers WPIX New York or whatever it was at that time. And the main reason I actually wanted to watch it, because I never thought that the game would come out in America, and it did. But that wasn't what actually got me interested, because I wanted to actually see what the cartoon was like that was infamous outside of Japan at that point for the infamous epilepsy episode where there was an episode that triggered a lot of seizures with a flashing light effect that became international news as a public health-ish concern about, video games and cartoons being calibrated to avoid triggering epilepsy in people who are prone to those kind of things. Now, Bill is saying that they want the alternative universe where Mother 3 releases worldwide and Pokémon doesn't. Well, all this XLO nonsense, they keep mentioning... I know the advanced controller keeps mentioning something about other universes and the like. I don't know much of what he's talking about. I know he described, because I became what he described as a redemption center for XLO tokens by mining them myself and allowing my viewers to redeem their XLO tokens with me. He described me as a redemption center, and that therefore my entire, reality or universe was known to him as Redemption Center 1. So, I don't know if all universes each have their own Redemption Center or whatever, or what, but maybe if we could defeat the advanced controller and get him to our side, maybe he will hook us up with a parallel universe copy of officially translated Mother 3. That would be neat. Now, but in regards to Pokemon specifically, I was always interested in creatures and monsters and human beings having sort of partnerships and fellowships with other creatures and beings. So Pokemon was up my alley, and I really didn't fall in love with it till I actually started watching the show. Because I know the game had been out, I know there were toys, and the cartoon had been out. My mom was like, read something about it. Uh-oh, Kalakaboy has redeemed Sodor Lore Reading Deluxe. We are, let's for a couple of minutes, we're going to read about the Brendam Branch and Suttery. I think that'll be good, and then we'll get back to the game. So, the Brendam Branch. This branch was formed by the main line of the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway. WS opened in 1870, running from Crosby to Brendam. The eastern end was demoted to branch status when the Northwestern Railway main line was built in 1915. It joined the Wellsworth and Sudbury at what is now called Sudbury Junction. The branch is an important one and carries considerable traffic. In addition to serving the island's capital, Sudbury, the china clay beds near Brendam generate a great deal of freight working. The line is known as Edwards Branch Line, and laterally, Boko has been engaged to assist, but those two are by no means the only mode of power employed. Through passenger services for commuters to and from Tidmouth are provided between 8 and 10 a.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. 8 and 10 p.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. This service is supplemented by other times by push-pull trains from Wellsworth, Sudbury. Sudbury is the capital. Okay, we're going to read about Sudbury and get back to the game. Sudbury is the capital and administrative center of the island. Tradition has it that St. Luke landed his coracle on the shores of Sudbury Bay. And proof of this, visitors to St. Luke's Cathedral are shown the crypt, the remains of the keel or chapel which he built for himself on landing. Luke, in the 5th century, was the first Christian missionary to reach Sodor. The city's arms perpetuate the legend of his miraculous arrival. They show the saint arrayed as a bishop standing in a coracle holding his crozier. Below is the city's motto, Luke Sodris Lux. Luke, the Light of Sodor. Luok. I don't know if it's Luke or Luok. A small church was built on the site in the 10th century, but work on the cathedral was done by Bishop Rolf in 1071, who seems to have preferred it to that inconveniently placed on Peel Island, Isle of Man. Work was continued by his successor Hammond, but it suffered a long period of neglect, and by 1392 was in such a poor state that an appeal, blessed by the Pope, was made to the faithful, urging them to give alms for the reparation of the Church of Sodor. Sudrians always maintained that these monies were misappropriated, for instead of being used for their clearly defined purpose, the repair of St. Luke's Sudri, which is undoubtedly the Church of Sodor, they were diverted to repair the church on Peel Island. A period of make do and mend followed, with authorities doing what they could with little monies were available. Eventually, in the 16th century, with funds released by the purpose by the dissolution of Cronk Abbey, it was restored and built in Tudor style by the first two bishops of Sudbury, Michael Colden of 1540 to 1565, and Timothy Smeal from 1565 to 1594. It is small as cathedrals go, but perhaps being on par with Hereford in size, but whereas Hereford has Norman grandeur and solidity, Sudbury, with its Tudor perpendicular, has the large windows which give it a grace and lightness all of its own. As the capital of the island, Sudbury was fortified, but the castle is relatively late in date. It was built at the end of the 12th century to fill a gap in the city's defenses, and a Manx raiding party had redeemed their failure to enter and loot the city by making off with several ships. A castle was therefore built overlooking the harbor. It was a Norman-type castle with a keep, and was always held by the city and never by a baron. It was blown up by parliamentary troops during the Great Rebellion, and the shattered masonry slid down the harbor. The site, a commanding one, was refortified during the Napoleonic Wars, but the batteries built have not spoiled its appearance. The blown-up masonry in the harbor eventually created a bar, preventing its use by shipping, except of the very smallest draught. Since all attempts at dredging have proved costly failures, the mayor and the corporation made a virtue out of necessity. If they cannot have shipping of one sort, they would have it of another. The docks have been turned into a flourishing marina, which draws yachtsmen from all ports, and the Sudbury Regatta has been spoken of as the northern counterpart to Cowes. Since the docks cannot be used for any but the lightest traffic, the former rail connection has been taken up, and the station resited more conveniently for the city. Alright. And yes, and to remind you all, if we're not familiar, everything you just heard was literally lore from Thomas the Tank Engine. Like, stuff that, this is actual stuff that exists in in the source material for Thomas the Tank Engine. But, you know what? I think that, yeah, it was really exciting seeing that for those first mentions of Pokémon in North American official Nintendo published material while reading for Super Mario RPG. And that's why I love reading those original source materials for the games I play, because it gives a sort of a snapshot of, okay, while Super Mario RPG was out in America, Pokemon was coming out in America. Pokemon was already a big deal in Japan, whereas it did not come to North America and the outside world until 1998. And, oh, we're going to fill here, and fill here. Yeah, I forgot that I had a Railway Series command that I made a Stream Deck button for, or rather that I rediscovered my Stream Deck button for, because yesterday during the autism video, yeah, during all of that, I was going through and pruning, reorganizing my Stream Deck app so that my Stream Deck has only the buttons that are useful, and that they're in where I need when I need it. I almost erased one button that I did need. It would have been an easy thing to recreate. It's just about no more than a minute worth of work to recreate the button. Just find the icon in my icons folder and remap it. But it's nice that I didn't have to. That button is my recording button that I use for doing my test recordings when I'm offline. For a long time, I did not have my I had it so that my go live button was separate from my record button. So I'd start recording, I'd go live and forget to start recording. It is so much easier to have both happen at the same time. When I go live, it also starts recording. Because I always, before I post to YouTube, I do go in and edit out like all but the last 10 seconds of my opening hold screen, as well as my break screens. And speaking of break screens, wow, it's only been, it feels like I've been, at one point, oh, you know what? Yeah, at one point, I guess I was looking at the wrong thing. I convinced myself that I'd been streaming for over an hour, and I had not. You know what you know what the problem is? I usually stream, I used to have 5 p.m. as my traditional streaming time. I've moved it later. I start streaming at 6. I'm going to start streaming at 6 on, for now, Friday and Saturday. Maybe I'll do Wednesday too, we'll see. Probably not, but yeah, definitely Friday and Saturday nights at 6. And because I normally start at 5, I'm like, wow, it's already like 6:30. I've been streaming for like 90 minutes. It doesn't feel like I've been playing for that long. And of course, there's no way I've been playing for that long. I'm like, wow, the time just really flew. But yeah, now's about the time when it... Hey, how about once we finish... Once we zero out, once we game over on this current run... How about we switch? I'll run an ad, do a little... No, I won't run an ad yet. If it makes me run an ad, when ads run on my stream, and if I had the choice to run 0 ads and not get paid a cent, I would. But, I guess I really think it's silly that people should have to pay to subscribe to me in order to have an ad-free viewing experience. But what I do instead is when I'm obligated to run an ad and I get the warning, oh, an ad coming in 2 or 3 minutes, I can trigger the ad. Well, first off, during my hold screen, part of what I do with that hold screen is in about a minute before I actually appear on camera and start the show, I will manually trigger an ad, which disables it for about an hour, which is good. The pre-roll and mid-roll. Then, when I get the warning, oh, an ad's gonna play in about a couple minutes, I'll use that opportunity to finish up, get to a good stopping point, or I'll trigger it right there. But I will go to my break screen, and for a couple minutes get up, stretch, so that way my viewers who are not subscribed to me, which is not at all required, not at all something I ask, deeply appreciated, but your mere presence, whether active in chat or standing guard of my silent squad, is deeply and sincerely appreciated. What I do is I use an opportunity to get up and stretch, so that way I have to take fewer, bigger, longer breaks. As I used to stream for 2 hours, then take a big 10-minute break about halfway through my stream, then stream for another 2 hours. I find that taking several shorter breaks has been more effective in terms of keeping the content flowing for my viewers and in terms of my own stamina. But typically my streams lately generally don't go more than 3 hours when it comes to gameplay stuff. If I'm also doing magazine readings or video, when I'm doing video reactions, in terms of I'm on camera talking about a video like an E3 press conference or something of that sort. When it comes to things like that, I can stream all day. I'll have to take breaks here and there. But most of my marathon streams involve me watching old E3 press conferences or things like that. And the neat thing about those is that I am able to then turn that into YouTube material. But more so than that, it's just the fact that I'm able to play a game, something like Nintendo's Versus Pinball, or once I played Pachinko technically for 12 hours straight, because from the 3DS's 10th anniversary, I did a YouTube marathon of a couple of E3s related to the 3DS, the early lifespan of the 3DS, a lot of my 3DS related videos over on YouTube that I was making before and after the system's launch. And we did a big, 10-hour marathon of that, and throughout the whole time I was playing Pachinko for the Sega SG-1000. Now, for those who are not familiar with the Sega SG-1000, the SG-1000 is, many people I've talked to, people, hobbyist gamers, are surprised to learn that there was a Sega system before the Genesis, which was the Master System. And many people who know all about the Master System I've talked to are surprised to learn that there was a Sega system before the Master System. The Sega SG-1000, which was only released in Japan, some countries in mainland Asia, and I believe in Australia or something odd like that. And the Sega SG-1000, in terms of its performance, if the Mark III, also known as the Master System, was equivalent in performance to, or similar in performance to the Famicom or Nintendo Entertainment System, the SG-1000 is comparable in performance to the the ColecoVision, an even more primitive system than the Master System. Successful in its own right, never as big a hit as the Famicom, because I believe the Famicom and the Sega SG-1000 came out on the same day, which is kind of well to think of, because comparing the NES to the two, it's comparing the Famicom to the SG-1000, you'd think, because I almost said it myself and I thought twice, you'd think it would be of the nature of comparing the NES and the ColecoVision. The American release of the NES with the, ColecoVision being an American system. But that's not really accurate to the market at the time. It would be more comparing at launch, the Famicom, the Family Computer Nintendo system, to the SG-1000, which was equivalent to ColecoVision, is really more it's not as severe of a deficit in performance between the two as you might imagine. Because by the time the NES came out in North America, which was the Western localized version of the Famicom, the technology had advanced to the point where you had games like Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda coming out, as well as the older Famicom games and the other games which were more arcade-type experiences, things like Clue Clue Land and Ice Climber. On the other hand, when Famicom came out in Japan, as I understand it, I believe I heard this from Jeremy Parish and a couple of other sources. If you don't know who Jeremy Parish is, fantastic video game historian over on YouTube. But when it comes to the specifications, the goal of the Family Computer project with the Nintendo, the idea was for Nintendo to make a home console with interchangeable cartridges that could play a near arcade-perfect version of Donkey Kong, which is a couple years old at that point. So, if you think of the Famicom, was designed basically to play a great home version of Donkey Kong, which was a big technological feat at the time to do as good of a version of Donkey Kong as what appeared on the Famicom, later the NES. And so when it comes to the early lifespan of the Famicom, where you have a lot of these arcade-type games like Popeye, Nintendo's Popeye, Clue Clue Land, Ice Climber, Pinball, the Satoru Iwata HAL Laboratory co-developed project with Nintendo, and Donkey Kong, that in comparison to something of the nature of ColecoVision, which did have a version of Donkey Kong that was clearly inferior to what came out on Famicom, comparing early Famicom to a system of the performance range of ColecoVision is not so severe of a deficit as comparing what we got in terms of the American NES release in comparison to the then aging and older than that equivalent point in Japan, because it had been a couple of years. I believe 82 or 83 in Japan, whereas it was 1985, I believe, when the Famicom came out in North America in its Nintendo Entertainment System form factor. The rebranding there. Now, it's interesting is that they were going with, like in Japan, the system was called Family Computer, using the computer name and the branding, having the Famicom Basic that added a keyboard, and the Famicom Disk System that added a floppy disk drive to the Famicom. And that sense, the idea of the Nintendo's first video game platform as being somewhat of a computer was something that they were considering emphasizing in the North American release, because, and you have to remember, in 1984, the North American game market in terms of ColecoVision, Atari 2600, Mattel's Intellivision, the Milton Bradley Vectrex, those systems there was basically a crash of the home video game market in North America. And a lot of retailers were afraid to invest in Nintendo and in a new game. People really thought of video games in the past tense in terms of dedicated home video game systems like Atari, Coleco, and Intellivision as a fad that is now gone by the wayside. That the future of home video games was in home computer software sales, not in terms of what was going on in terms of the dedicated home video games. And comparing dedicated home consoles to proper computers, PCs, was very interesting, because in some ways home PC games were much more advanced than home dedicated video games. In other ways, they were far less advanced. For example, I understand you could hold a lot more text on a floppy disk for things like RPGs. But on the other hand, those PCs were really made with science and business and educational applications first and foremost, whereas home video game consoles had more of an emphasis on graphics and sound. So the computers that could do both, something of the nature of the Commodore 64, Amiga, that was something that took off more as a game platform in Europe and other territories, more so than in North America. But I do not have a great deal. Most of what I learned about that is from osmosis, from friends who had Amiga back in the day, or from watching European YouTubers where home video game scene in the 80s and early 90s, but especially in the 80s, really was centered more around the home computer, with games releasing mostly on audio cassette, as opposed to North America, where the games were really being more released on cartridges for dedicated home game systems. But all that is to say that Nintendo did consider bringing that sort of computer concept of the Famicom in terms of the Famicom Disk System, Famicom Basic with its keyboard and a basic programming cartridge, and other functions to North America in the form of what they were going to call its conceptual phase, which it did not, it didn't leave that conceptual phase, the Advanced Video System, where you have a contraption very similar looking to the NES in terms of its design vocabulary, the gray and black plastic, but it had wireless infrared controllers to seem more sophisticated. It had a keyboard, a full-featured keyboard, in the style of a lot of, I guess to use that term again, the design vocabulary of what was later used with the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it really was going to be more of a computer than a dedicated game console. It was not well received at Summer CES, where it was revealed. I think it was Winter CES that it was revealed. Bam! No! Yeah! We're gonna live! We're gonna live! We're gonna live! We're gonna live! I wanted to make the combo, but I had like a few frames more. Yeah, okay. You gotta keep on that. Can't let that happen again. But the cool thing is that in the Nintendo World Store in New York, on occasion, I was lucky to see it several times over the years, is that they have on display the mock-up, the physical prototype for the Advanced Video System, the only one I know of to be in existence. And I got to see it with my own eyes, and it was amazing seeing this prototype that I only knew of through the book that I think it was a 98 release or 99, A Game Over, Press Start to Continue by David Sheff, which I could talk about in a minute, but that book, but reading about, you know, the history of Nintendo, the AVS, it was really reading Game Over, Press Start to Continue that actually made me, well, I was already interested in old video games, but it was, and mind you, this is in the 90s talking about old video games, so even at that time I was interested in that. Even in the mid-90s, was there a two-player mode for this game? There is, but you need a second Game Boy and a link cable and a second copy of the game. So it's not very easily accessible. Whereas with Pokémon Puzzle League for Nintendo 64, all you needed was a second gamepad and, you know, call your friend over, and you could play 2 players because that had the 4 jacks right in the front of it. So how about this? I'm gonna get up and no. We're not yet. Not yet. What we're going to do. Building Dragonair deck. No, you didn't make me crash. It's an inevitability. It's part of the game. And now, it's time. I just retitled the game. Actually, I'm gonna switch over to from retro to I'm gonna move over to Pokemon trading card game. Yeah. No, you didn't make me crash. It's not like I was going for a world record run or personal best or anything. So we'll swap over to... There we go. That's what we like to see. So we'll just swap out. There we go. Bye. Well, maybe we might come back to this later. We'll see. Alright, time for Pokemon trading card game. Yeah, and thanks for the well played. Azure Rest. Okay. Yeah, so right now... Alright. So let's see what's... Who have we got? Okay, we've got Matt. I think this guy was giving us lots of good cards. So let's get on it. Oh yeah, I forgot. It defaults to that you don't want to play, which is actually a very courteous thing to do. And what I didn't realize is that simply turning off the game in the middle of a duel, a card battle, instantly saves your game. Or I guess the effect is that it saves after each turn, and turning it off, if you turn off the system, you can resume mid-game, which is great. Alright, let's see which Pokemon. We've got an Omastar. Do you have a Pokemon besides? No, all we've got is Seal. We have no other basic Pokemon. But we do have a Bill in our hands. A Bill is a card that allows us to draw 2 cards. So it's a card that, lets us get some more cards in our hand very quickly. And it's kind of funny how in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, there is a similar card to Bill called Pot of Greed where you draw 2 cards. But that card is so powerful that it was one of the earliest cards to get banned. Meanwhile, in Pokemon Trading Card game, the way that game works, just having a card that lets you draw 2 cards, it's not that OP. It's, you know, it's just a pretty normal card. Alright, I got a Squirtle as well. Okay. Now let me check. It's been about a month since I played. Got Headbutt. What does he have? Rage. If the offending Pokemon attacks on the next turn, any damage done by the attack is reduced by 20. Let's play. Well, at first, let's use Bill. Yeah, Dollar Bill. Okay, we got 2 water energies. That's some good draws. Okay. let's, So this isn't... I don't think this will do any damage. Oh, no, okay. Okay, it did do damage. Okay, I misread Cubone's effect then. Oh, you know, I wonder if that's something that has to be manually activated. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't have any energy attached to it yet. So next turn, that attack would not have dealt any damage. We're gonna put... Yeah, I'll give that water energy to that Squirtle. The water energy, if those who are not familiar, water energy, those are the cards we use to power their attacks. They are not expended as we use attacks. Once I attach an energy card, it'll be attached to that Pokemon until it is knocked out, or unless an attack or ability requires me to remove a card, or if the opponent uses a card that forces me to either choose an energy card to discard, or it'll gives the opponent the right to choose one of my energy cards to withdraw. There's a lot of different conditions to it, but yeah. So watch this. It won't do any damage, I don't think. Yeah, did not receive damage. But on the other hand, that the Cubone was unable, did not attack me. So it's using this attack to basically prevent me from damaging them. So I can't... Okay, we got a Goldeen here. What can Goldeen do again? Let me remember. So we've got Horn Attack. Okay, nothing else. Let's build up Squirtle a bit. And yeah, let's just end the turn there. No point in going through the animation of attacking when you know nothing's gonna happen. Alright, he's using Pokeball. He gets to flip a coin. If he wins this coin flip, he gets to look for a card, a Pokemon card of his, basic Pokemon card, or an evolution card from his deck. Alright, he gets to look for a Pokemon. He puts a Rhyhorn to level 18 in his hand. Okay. Attach fighting energy. Yeah, he's spamming the Snivel attack. I want to check the field. Alright, because I used Bill. Yeah, because I used Bill. Yeah, if I draw the evolution cards for either Seal or Squirtle, but at this rate, yeah, unless my opponent were to use a card like Bill, because if all he's gonna do with the way things are now is spam Snivel, it would be a cheap way to win. It's suboptimal. It's not probably a whole lot of fun. It's fun cheesing the computer into doing it, but it would be costly and time consuming. But yeah, if he's going to spam that, but it turns out that I cannot play Ammonite right now. Ammonite's an evolution of the fossil, and I do not have the fossil. So I have 2 Ammonites in my hand right now. Oh, and I have Omastar, so once because that was, I think, in my opening hand. So if I am able to get the fossil, the mysterious fossil, I would then be able to... Yeah, I would then be able to evolve a very powerful fossil Pokemon very quickly. Alright, so in a couple of minutes, a break is coming up in 3 minutes, an ad break. So in 2 minutes, I'm gonna get, we'll see how far he can get. Oh, he's actually attacking now, okay. Finally got out of that Snivel rut. Alright. I can't do anything at the moment, which is really frustrating, but... Yeah, I was gonna see if... Yeah, the way things were going... If... but the thing is, I have fewer energy cards or I have fewer cards in my deck than him, so if things went on, I'd eventually be outdrawn and lose the game on that basis alone. Yeah, there's really nothing I could do. Yeah, looks like... Yeah, we got a knockout. He draws his first prize card. These are ahead in terms of the prize card count now. Yeah, we'll throw Squirtle out there. We'll draw our card. Water energy. You know... yeah, I think now's a good point for me to get up and stretch a bit. So, and I'll run the ad, of course. All right. So I will set. Yeah, I don't want anyone to miss any content. It's gonna force me to run an ad in a couple minutes anyway. So I'll go ahead, set the timer for 2 minutes. I think should do it. And make it 3. And so the rest of the stream will be that much better. So I will see you all. Get up, make your popcorn, whatever you need to do. I'll refill my water bottle, take a leak, and I will see you all soon. Hey, I heard a little Heiankyo alien music. Oh, wrong layout. Wrong layout. I chose Pokemon Puzzle Challenge instead of Pokemon Trading Card Game. I'm like spamming the Stream Deck button to go into the right layout. Come on. Come on. Why is this one? There we go. That's more like it. Alright, it'll switch any second now. Pre-select hand. That's an interesting dialogue. It should be please select a card. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna use withdraw. Come on, heads! Yep, there we go. Yeah, 2 could play at this nonsense. Defensive nonsense. I'm really sort of... Aha, of course you're gonna do that. In response. Alright. You might as well build up the other Squirtle. This is a weird stalemate-y kind of game. Well, not stalemate-y, but I just... doesn't feel like I have the ability to do a lot. Hey, Clockaboy, you know, I appreciate the fact that people have reached out about, you know, saying, hey, what's going on? You know, I explained, like, hey, there's this important project about something personal to me. I gotta finish it, because the last stream I did was not yesterday's stream, but the last stream before my little break was the only stream I did after discovering after starting this project to respond to that interview. And I came 99% of the way to canceling the stream, and during that whole stream no one mentioned it, but I felt like that stream wasn't that good because I was so preoccupied with you know, working on that project every moment I could. So I'm like, I gotta get this out the way, and plus April's, you know, supposed to be Autism Awareness Month, though the concept of autism awareness as opposed to like acceptance is kind of widely criticized in the autism community of actually autistic people. Okay, I've lost my coin flip. Hopefully you still use Snivel. But yeah, I plan to, right now, my plan, my Yeah, I plan to be streaming 6 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. Oh boy, am I gonna have to face like this huge gauntlet of does 10 damage plus 10 more for each. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna win this one. Oh, okay. Thank you. It's like, oh, did I hear negativity? You moron. How did I discover that interview? There's a channel, and I linked to it. Hold on. Actually, I'm just gonna... there's a channel I subscribe to called I'm Autistic, Now What? And I don't watch their videos a whole lot, but I do subscribe to them, and I saw this one. It's a video of them responding to the interview in their own way. I'll drop a link to it in chat. I found that, and I went and watched the original interview, and I was like, I think there are a lot of points that that they didn't make in that criticism that I'd like to make myself. So I went ahead and did it. Omnite, and then Amistar. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. Please win this coin flip, and I hope I get some water energy. And my next draw. So now he's going to use Snivel. Doggone. Okay. Okay. Better than... Wait, did I... Okay, I already put the double colorless energy on him. Let's start, evolving that fossil. Alright, now I can see... Alright, so Geodude, Onyx, Defender... Oh, he has Gust of Wind. I'm glad I can see those. Yeah, Ammonite's power lets me view the opponent's hand. And there's Defender. A lot of these trainer cards, the Pokemon trading card game's early depiction of different items, like potions, were really the first time these things were represented in any official manner. And I was wondering even back then, is this just for the card game, or is that how I'm supposed to imagine these looking in the Pokemon world? And then later Pokemon games and Game Boy Advance, it was really started, because Game Boy Color did not have the graphics. But starting with Game Boy Advance and Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, they did start depicting the potions in that specific manner. Heads. Nope. That means he gets knocked out next turn. Probably. Yeah, here it comes. I wish I held on to some of that energy, but oh well. All I have to do is hold and... What do I... Yeah. Another Squirtle, really? Okay. Yeah, it's silly that I have to use the double colorless for this. But I'm just going to have to try to hope I draw heads on this. Come on, heads. There we go. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to have these Squirtles use defensive attacks. Use its defense to hold out until I can get some water energies on that Omanite. Because I could evolve that Omanite into Omastar now, but if I did that, I would no longer be able to use the ability that lets me see into my opponent's hand, which is very useful at the moment. Oh, really? Okay. Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of internal dialogue going on right now, Azure S, but I'm not troubling chat with it, but I am using the heart of the cards, as such as it's called. Alright. Alright, so you still got Squirtle for at least one more turn. Alright, here we go. Now we're playing with water. Now... Now, in terms of... Oh boy. Yeah. Spike cannon. Yeah. I just need... Ideally, I just need one more water energy. But for now, we're going to hunker down and withdraw again. If heads, no damage, because we're going to get heads, so that'll give... Oh, not this time. Snorlax. Here's the fun thing. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, if we got two tails, we wouldn't have got any damage. Zen and the Art of Pokemon trading cards. No, pretty much. And there's like the other major, you know, kid-friendly, though a little bit more of an edge to it, a little more tweeny and teen, maybe tilted card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Has this whole thing in the anime, the heart of the cards. You know, the belief that you'll draw the right card at the right time to make your whole plan come together, change the course of a duel that looks hopeless. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this guy out here to get beat up on. Okay. So we're gonna play that on... Alright, so... But now... Okay. I see other things we can do. But 80 hit points. We won't evolve them yet. There's not much I can do. They're not powered up. If they actually use that gust of wind. Now, am I playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door when it comes out next month? I'm gonna tell you right now, if I could, I really wish, I was hoping that game would come out much later in the year. There's no way I'm playing that next month. I'll be playing it later in the year at best. I have very specific plans in place to play Pokémon next month, and I was originally going to aim for this to be a little later in the month, my 4-year anniversary stream, because my 4-year anniversary stream is not going to be on the actual date of the 4-year anniversary. It's just going to be in the month of May, which for many reasons is like one of my special months, me personally, and it happens to be the month I started streaming. But I'm going to tell you, originally I was planning it for later in the month, my 4-year anniversary stream. Now I'm aiming for earlier in the month. Last night, now, and I told you how I was working on a lot of things in terms of my... While the autism documentary thing was running, while that was going on... I want to see how many prize... He only has one... You know what? Oh no. You know what? I lost this duel. I lost the duel back when I didn't put my Omastar out in front. He only has one prize card left to draw. So when Seal gets knocked out, he wins the duel. I won't be able to put out this this awesome fully evolvable Ammonite I've had out here for waiting for the opportunity. Oh, why didn't I realize he only had one prize card left? If I realized he had one prize card left, I would have put him out then. Doggone. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's evolve Seal into Dugong. And yes, seals and dugongs are just actual animals. But yeah, I'm very excited about the Pokemon Thousand Year Door remake. I mean, the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake. I may even buy it at launch just to support. This is a very important. If this game bombs, it's going to have a significant impact on the future of the Paper Mario series. I want this game to do very well. I want this game to do well. I want to reward Nintendo for making this game, because this is a game that many people thought that Nintendo would never make. Because Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is pretty much... Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door spits in the eye of what Nintendo has decided for the last 10 years. Well, basically, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door spits in the eye of of what Nintendo has mandated that Paper Mario must be. Because Paper Mario is the last game that was a true full-fledged RPG, and Nintendo has said, like, oh, we have the Mario and Luigi series, Paper Mario can't be RPGs anymore. It could be RPG-like, but we're gonna take away the storyline, take away the characters, take away everything that made the first two Paper Mario games a full-fledged successor to Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, and make it this sort of like this just sort of moniker, this sort of art style that you could do anything with. But let's so hopefully they last longer. If they use that gust of wind. Oh my gosh, if they used gust of wind. Yeah, okay, so I made it, I lived it. They lost their coin flips. Okay, so what is Dugong's retreat cost? 3. Man, okay. If I get 2 more energy cards that I could put on Dugong in addition to this one, I could pay to retreat them. The main hope for that... Wait, actually... If I can... No, I don't have nearly enough energy cards to actually attack with them. My main hope to win right now is to keep winning these coin flips, and so that Marowak's Boomerang does not deal damage to my Dugong. Tails. Okay. Cereal Watch? Cereal Watch. Hey there, Cereal Wars, how you doing? I've been, it's my first gaming stream in almost a month. I stepped back for basically a month. I could actually punch in right here and explain. It gives a link to the video. Last night I did a sort of live presentation of this video. A 4-hour video responding to an interview about between Buck Angel and the mother of an autistic child. But now we're back to gaming. Oh my gosh. Really? Oh yeah, I can't No, it's huge. It's huge. But the thing, it's like how H-Bomber Guy was able to do a 2-hour documentary about the oof sound effect from Roblox. When you have a lot to say about it, you have to make a long video. And it's actually, this video has actually been by far my most successful video that I've put up in years. At 4 doggone hours long. That's interesting. But right now we're just hoping for a lot of good coin flips for us. A lot of Tails, which is bad for him, is good for us. So yeah, it's not for everyone. It's definitely a special interest video on a very specific topic. So the first one's going to be a Tails. No. First one's going to be not heads. Oh no, no. It's going to do max damage. And that's the game. That's the game. I lost this duel when I overlooked the fact that he only had one prize card left, and I put out the seal instead of putting out my my Omanite. Yeah, so yesterday, while that was going on the stream, while I was, interacting in chat and we're, discussing the video, I was testing a lot of software side things in terms of making sure that all this different software I had running Oh, thank you, Azure Rust. Yeah, I was making sure all these new software things that I have, because after my 4-year anniversary stream, I'm going to be using some different software and some different two new pieces of software to process and present my stream. And I want to make sure those ran smoothly. Now, it's nothing that you would have noticed as a viewer yesterday, and that's why I'm just having a video running instead of my actual stream as you're seeing it now. It was a good opportunity to do that without doing like a test stream with like the infamous test card F girl and the little clown doll while I tested these things. And so not a single drop frame for the entire 4-hour and 15-minute stream yesterday, which is great. Then all my software worked great, and now I have to test some new hardware, and that's all the new hardware testing is stuff, and hardware setup is stuff I'll be able to do tomorrow. Oh yeah, and of course you can watch in little segments, an hour at a time if you want. Would I like to duel me? Yes, I want my revenge. Alright, this, after that one was long, and that's the nice thing about these card games, at least how they're in this format here, is that you don't lose out, unlike Pokemon where you lose money, or you get set back in a dungeon, you really don't. Alright, got Dratini, we've got Shelder, we've got Seal, we've got a Fossil. Yeah, let's put down Shelder and Dratini. Alright. Now, for gameplay purposes, the Mysterious Fossil Trainer card does count as a basic Pokemon, but not for the purpose of starting the duel. So we use Bill. Okay, so right now he's, yeah, it was nice, participating in chat. And yeah, so while I was doing that, I was watching the video, I was participating interacting with my viewers in chat, and on top of that, I was also doing the software stuff, neatening up my Stream Deck icons and folders in the Stream Deck, and testing the new software I'll be using after my anniversary stream, which is going to be the last stream I'm doing in the current format now. I mean, when I say change format, I don't mean anything dramatic or anything crazy, but the important thing about my anniversary stream, which I have not decided a date on, I will give a date as soon as I feel I could responsibly present one, is that I will be the conclusion of the advanced controllers, yeah, but it's like, I know, like, people, like, when I told my father, when I called him, it's like, hey, I did this new video, it was 4 hours, I was like, oh, that's like movie, I could watch a bunch of movies in that time, no one's gonna watch it, and it's like, and then that's what I showed him, like, there's a 2-hour soundtrack, about a 1/4-second sound effect, from Roblox. Then, the same guy did, like, a 4-hour documentary about plagiarism on YouTube. Like, when you have, and he was saying, like, oh, everything's about TikTok now, you only have a few seconds to do a video, and I'm like, you don't realize that there's also long-form video essays are also a thing. Everything's not just like, a 20-second prank video in Letterboxd in portrait format. I've still not actually seen James Cameron's Avatar. I mean, James Cameron's Titanic. And it's funny because I was obsessed with the Titanic when I was a little kid, watching those National Geographic videos, like the first submarine footage. And it could save more lives than Lost on Titanic. That's an interesting perception. I won't toot my own horn, nor deny the positive impressions of my viewers. I'll yeah, set it out about there. Yeah. Yeah, might as well play this so that if I do get one of my Omanite, I can evolve the fossil right away into that Omanite. No. Now, it's kind of funny. The whole mysterious fossil thing is kind of the closest thing Pokemon has, at least in this point of its history, to a special summon in Yu-Gi-Oh! I was just saying they'll be my press agent. DM them? Okay. We'll talk after the stream. Oh, I already played an energy. Okay, for some reason I thought... Come on, heads. Oh, not this turn. Alright, they're definitely behind me. You little sucker. Why did I have to... Why did I leave... Why did I make the mysterious fossil be the only... I had other... That's so stupid. No, why did I put Dratini down? That's so stupid. Okay. Alright. Looks like we're... No, I have... Let's check the field. So I have 47 cards, he has 43, 47, 46, 45. I'll still be ahead in terms of card count. So I will go ahead and play Bill. And it's funny because Bill, if you don't know who Bill is a character from the Pokemon games. He also appeared in the anime. Character is kind of a Pokemon researcher, but they aren't a professor. They're someone you meet later on. And in the games, they created a machine that merged them with a Pokemon, and in the anime, they accidentally got themselves locked in a Pokemon fursuit. But, use your water energy. Darn it! I do not have my... Man. That is some butt. Okay. Okay, yeah, I already attached. Oh yeah, I attached to Dratini. Kick their butt, Dratini. Alright. And this is, in the course, my goal is to build a Sea Serpent-themed deck. So a bunch of Dratinis and Dragonairs, a bunch of Gyarados, some Laprases. Those are the only real Sea Serpent. I guess there's some Seadras and Horsies would be alright. In terms of building a... Oh man, I'm about to lose my Dratini. Yeah, give me all the evolution cards for all the... Man, this is not going good. Oh well. We can turn it around though. Yeah, if I did not play that seal instead of my Ammonite, I would have won I would have had a pretty decent chance at turning the last duel around. Bye-bye, Dratini. Sorry. Another Shelter, really? Okay. A Cloyster would be great, with just Shelter's evolved form. Alright. Alright. Let's go for it. Supersonic. We're gonna get ahead so we can, no, not this time. We're gonna get... No. Oh my gosh. Why did I... I did... Alright. I just need War Turtle and I could start... Come on, heads. Nope. There's really no... Like, if I were to concede the duel, if I were to give up at this point, all I'd say I don't lose anything, I'd actually just save the time. Because time is all I really have at stake right now. Oh my gosh. Please give me War Turtle? No, water energy. Yeah, okay. Heads will not receive damage. Okay, cool. Yeah, if we did not get that coin flip, we definitely would have lost Squirtle this turn. Potential to draw War Turtle next turn. He uses Call for Friend to get a... Yeah, start building up Seal. Come on, another heads. No. Alright. So boomerang. Come on. Good. Nope. If we got 2 tails on that, we would have got to keep Squirtle, but now we gotta move on. Another seal, not a dugong, just another seal. Okay. If some really lucky attack choices and coin flips are what we need right now. Have I had any tasty crepes lately? I found a shop that, like... Well, hey, we haven't talked about the eclipse. We haven't talked about the eclipse, have we? Yeah, so I traveled... I mean, I travel anyway, but I traveled... I had an appointment... Well, an appointment, but I made some plans. I went to a Native American archaeological site that was in the Path of Totality that had an eclipse party as a fundraiser, because I wanted to enjoy the eclipse with other people, but I didn't want to do some sort of thing where it's like at a baseball stadium and there's like it's hosted by like a local radio station, there's a loud DJ and it's real commercial and crowded. It was a small number of people. There was one fellow there who had a $8,000 telescope that was only for looking at the sun. It's not for looking at the stars at night, it's just for looking at the sun. And then he had like a $600 lens that was just for looking at eclipses. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I got to see my first ever total eclipse, which was very nice. But on the way back, I found a crepe shop. It was... I'm glad it's not local, because I would not go back, and it would be like local to like my apartment, I mean, back home. Because it was a considerable travel, but I would rather have a no crepe shop nearby me, which is my current situation, than have a crepe shop near me that's bad that I don't want to go to anyway. So okay, so we're gonna get our first tails here, and our second's coming up. There we go. No damage. Double colorless energy. Yeah, we're gonna hang on to that for now. If I just keep getting lucky coin flicks and knock out Marowak that way, that would be quite the trip. And Azurus is having many apple turnovers, huh? And more good coin flips. I have no other Pokemon, though. I need to play something. I don't have any... Okay, all I have is this other seal. Yeah, I guess I'll put it on the other one. I'm really hoping that I can, Come, what do you... Oh, they retreated. Really? Instant knockout. And that's the duel. What is going... I've never had my deck flow like this before. It's like not flowing right at all. I think I'm just getting real... I mean, the first duel, I could pinpoint the moment. I could pinpoint the moment I lost myself that one, but... Okay, one more, and if this doesn't go well, we'll go duel someone else, because this guy gives us a lot of the cards that I want to collect right now in these booster packs. But I like to do in that. Okay, 4 prizes. So, yeah, so Azurist knows how to make crepes, but no eggs. You know, I wonder if... Hold on. Stephen King used an eclipse as a device in the book, Dolores Claiborne. You know, I never heard of that particular book before. And it's kind of funny because eclipses happen all over the world all the time. And this one's just special because it happens to be over, you know, mainland United States, which doesn't happen that often. So we've got Shelter. All we have is Shoulder. Like, I either get a bunch of basics in my hand or a bunch of evolves in my hand. Alright. Alright, Feds. I'll play second. Okay. So I do have the option to attack this turn. You drew Bill. Okay, and... $48, and yes. We're tied. I don't want to use... You know what? I might as well. And hanging on to the... Yeah, it hasn't done me any good so far today. Water. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm glad I did use that, but start building up Lapras, and in the meantime, you know, I could have put that energy card on Shelter and you tried to defend while I built up Lapras, but every time they use that attack, they're not damaging me, so I don't mind. Okay. So we have Squirtle and Wartortle. Actually, let's check that Lapras. Water gun, 10 plus each. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and build up Lapras. Alright. Attach fighting energy to Rhyhorn. Uses Leer again. Oh man, if this keeps up, okay. Water energy and another Squirtle. I'm going to build an absolute unit of a Lapras. And Squirtle. And what? Well, she's wrecking the town when she's in play. Yeah, by the time... Oh, okay. So, shelter's out. Thank you, you served your purpose in my strategy. You did good, little scallop. You did good. Alright. Alright. 30 damage. I'm going to hurt you a lot faster than you can hurt me. Ooh, a Dragonair. If only I had a Dratini to play it on like in the last duel. And this is the knockout. No, oh wait. Is it only up to 30? Is there a max of 30? Oh my gosh. Did I get too excited? Did I not realize there was a maximum of 30? Hold on. You cannot add more than 20 okay. That's... I have to read the entire card and not just the part that I want to see. You can't add more than 20 damage in this way. Dog gone. But what we can do, how about this? And we'll put a double colorless on the Squirtle. And evolve him into Wartortle now. No, let's just go for the knockout. No, wait. Let me check some. No, wait, yeah, there's no reason not to just go for the knockout. Can't add more than 20 damage. Why did I forget that? Yeah, because I didn't read the whole card, I was getting too excited. I'm like, oh, I've wasted so many water energy cards doing that. But hey, for the first time in this entire stream, we actually knocked out one of the enemy's Pokemon. Oh wow, a Dugong. If only there weren't times when I had a bunch of seals that I couldn't do anything with. Took 10 damage. How about... Okay. Okay. Let's check. Okay, my play area. Yeah, so I could do 40 damage as it is. And then if I check... Okay, I need more water energy too. Yeah, I don't have... Yeah, just take... Alright, so this will knock them out. I am very much relying on drawing a water energy in the next turn in order for this to work. Dog gone, okay. But I can attack to the knockout. Actually, I should have withdrew. I should have just took the defensive position. Oh, come on, not an... Gonna got a water energy out of that, okay. Oh, and I noticed lately, I did mess with my settings on my microphone, where I noticed my S's hiss a lot in the last several streams. And it was not a problem I ever had, because I didn't change my settings, so I changed my microphone placement, and the hissing of the S's should not be a problem, based on what I saw. Based on what I heard in my test footage. Alright, here we go. So Hydro does 40 damage plus 10 more for each water energy. You can't add more than 20 in this way, okay. And then no. Alright, so for practical purposes, yeah, let's go ahead and actually we're going to take, come on. No, it didn't work out. I was hoping to take the defensive position, draw water energy next turn. Because he has no energy cards on... This rock has no energy cards right now. Water energy. There we go. Yeah, for practical purposes... Actually, let me put down a Squirtle so I don't have more than none. Basic Pokemon. Can't put down Omanite. That's a level 1. That's an evolved Pokemon from the fossil. So we'll put down Blastoise. And there's no practical reason to evolve him until I was able to deal more damage with Blastoise than I could have with Wartortle. Alright. That's 40. Yeah, okay. So computer search. So 2 cards from your hand, search for a card from your hand. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna get rid of Dragonair. And we'll get rid of Ammonite. We'll take a water energy. We will add the water energy. So now this water pump is fully maxed out. Huh. There we go. Do you get that knockout in one turn? And I can't add... I don't think I could add any more power using this, using the, water... by adding more water energy, so Blastoise really is maxed out at this point. Ah, powerful attack. Okay. But... oh yeah, now... see, look, this is what I was hoping for. Spike Cannon. Flip a coin. The defending Pokemon is now paralyzed if Tails does nothing. Not even damage. Flip 2 coins. 30. Could have done... this is... Cloyster is what I was waiting for. Okay. Last duel and never showed up. Really? Okay, fine. Now go ahead and knock him out. Does he have... is this his last prize card? Okay, it's second to last prize card. Alright, next one to get a knockout wins the duel. Yeah, you really can't do anything to stop me from winning at this point. H took all the prizes. Okay, finally I won. Okay. I'll never get the legendary cards if I play like that. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's open up these packs. See what we got. H check the cards in the booster pack. So an Electrode, a Primeape, Rhyhorn, Pokemon Center. Meow, Oddish, Drowsy, Vulpix, Grass Energy. You know, it's an odd mix. I'm not going out of my way to get a lot of these sorts of cards I've got that showed up here. Yeah, nothing really too interesting here. Another Respect Mystery. So, alright, I'm not playing Electric right now, though. So, a Tauros, another Vaporeon, another Mysterious Fossil. If I could add... I think I have 3 already. If I could add a 4th one, that would be dope. Nidoran Female and Ammonite. Gonna win the next duel? Alright, we're saving right now. Diary. Yeah, and I think the reason they call saving the game overall a diary is to avoid confusion with the language of saving a deck or saving a deck configuration or a card configuration. But yeah, let's check out our deck. Here's his fam deck. So we can modify. I want to see how many. That 2 mysterious. Okay, we already have 4 mysterious fossils in there. We have. So anything I don't want. I mean, I almost want to get rid of that computer search, but that made the last duel a lot easier. I have that one Farfetch'd. I have a one Dratini and 2. I have one Dratini and 2 Dragonairs. You know, it's kind of silly to have one Dratini and 2 Dragonairs. I mean, yeah, if I have a Dratini, I have an enhanced chance of finding a Dragonair. But we'll get rid of one Dragonair. And see if we can add the... I have 4 Vaporeons. I don't have more Vaporeons than I have Eevees right now, I believe. Okay, I have 4 Omanites already. Like, I almost want to... Okay. Added a Grass Energy. I'm sick of, like... We're gonna get rid of some of these... Get rid of Farfetch'd. You know what? We're getting rid of Dratini and Dragonair for now. We're just gonna put in some more water energies. Let's see. And yes, it's still called Mersey and Fam, even though there's no Dragonairs or Dratinis in the deck anymore for the moment. Which is, and the deck is named after Mersey the Dragonair. Because we're in love with little Mersey, Mersey the Dragonair. But that's another story. Deck, now the diary. Yes, I just used diary as a verb. Alright. There we go. We'll do one more duel against this guy, and then we will switch back. Oh, one more duel against this guy, and we'll switch back to a little Pokemon puzzle challenge and call it a stream. But Kalaka was saying that this evening they're going to a Hong Kong style cafe, an interesting blend of Chinese cuisine and also Western food like pizza, steak, and dishes, and also milk tea. I understand that's kind of that's very like that sort of mix of foods is a very Hong Kong-y kind of thing to begin with. I had some spaghetti earlier. Now that I'm streaming a little later, and now that I'm starting later and going later, and starting at 5 instead of 6, I went ahead and ate my big sort of lunch/dinner about an hour before I streamed. Normally I'd eat after, but we'll do this guy one more time. Win or loss, we'll move on to Pokemon Puzzle League Challenge. We'll probably do a single marathon run, and then I'll call it a stream. Alright, I'm button mashing through this. And by the way, I'm using the the SN30 Pro corded controller with the analog pocket dock. Alright. The addition of some more water energy is probably going to help a lot. It's been a really long time since, like, even when I played Magic the Gathering and Pokemon in their physical forms, I usually went monotype. Okay. Goldeen, you've got, what do we got? We've got Goldeen and Seal. Alright. That's how we're starting this with, huh? Alright. Seal. I didn't, yeah, pretty much. Nazareth is saying that they miss California food. I don't know, for a split second I thought said I miss Cali food. I'm like, I thought you like said, I thought it was like a misspelling of cauliflower, and I'm like, they make everything out of cauliflower now. I can't get away from it, but yeah, Cali food. Yeah, the furthest west I've ever been is Ohio. In fact, I think the furthest west I've ever been geographically was when I went to, it was on the Eclipse when I traveled. It was a decent road trip. I made plans for where I was going to stay and everything, but I think that's as far west as I've ever been. Is where I went to go see the eclipse in. And if you know the path of totality of the eclipse, that does alright. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna get since the duel just started, it's saying, oh, ad break in 2 minutes. I'm gonna go to my break screen. I will go ahead and put up the 2 minutes. Actually, I might as well just make it 3 and run the ad and get it over with, and then I'll be able to stream, and then we'll continue on. So I will be back. Alright, I'm back. Let me just get back to... Yeah, there's the game. And let's finish up this duel. I mean, finish it up. It's like the first turn, maybe? So he's going to use his Pokeball Trainer card. Alright, he gets to search, and he picked a Rhyhorn. Places it on the bench immediately. Uses Leer. So I can't attack next turn, but it's not a serious setback. Actually, let's play Bill first. Alright, got some more water energy, that's nice. We can't spend it all at once, but and then we'll play Goldeen on the bench. I mean, you can't attack this turn, so just end the turn right there. Okay. Attach fighting energy to Rhyhorn. Uses Leer again. Which actually lands, but Using these non-damage dealing moves, I just take it as a further opportunity to build up my... Okay, so we got a mysterious fossil. And... yeah, we won't use that until... we'll just build up Seal and Goldeen equally until we hopefully get some of their evolutions out on the field. Alright, so we've got, this is going to change our, okay, so let's get a clear sense of, so poke, no, so check, we play, Lapras, so water gun, 10, so we can't do more than 30 with Lapras, okay, now that, and actually, let me check, I'm doing like when I was first playing this right here, new to RPGs. I had played Final Fantasy VII before this, but I'm new to RPGs. I'm thinking any move that doesn't deal damage is like a waste of a move. Like, oh, it didn't do anything. I'm not using that again. Like the, well, actually, I think it was specifically Leer that's making a big difference in this turn. But I'm like, okay, not anything that has to do with status. Or I'm being impatient. Let's check in my play area. The rules for Confuse Ray. Flip a coin. If heads, they're confused. But does it, and it also deals damage, which is okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And I would be a couple of turns away from drawing that Lapras if I did not play that Bill before. Which is another reason a card like Bill, that doesn't seem to do a whole lot, can make a big deal even if the cards you don't get into your hand are particularly useful. Ouch. Really? 1, 2. So let me memorize. Okay, so it's 10. Now it'll do 20. Next turn it'll do 30. There's no reason to put more than 3 water energy cards on Lapras. Okay. At least I could deal damage this turn. Chip away a little bit. First opportunity I had to do damage, I kept losing those coin flips, but I didn't mind because they were non-damage dealing in any case, to me. And this is the KO turn. The first knockout of the duel. So this should do, and the hand will play. Okay, so Confuse Ray. Actually, let's use. Let's use Confuse Ray. Yeah, and we won our coin flip. So next turn, they can't attack without risking damaging themselves. Oh, you little butt. I mean, they could knock out that fossil. It does not count as a, watch. Okay, so. They don't get a prize card for knocking it out. They aren't considering the fact that the, yeah, they aren't considering the fact that you don't get a prize card The computer's like the computer player is not considering the fact, oh, I'm going to get a Pokemon with only 1 HP. I'm going to choose to bring that one out with Gust of Wind. They're not considering the fact that it's yeah, they're not considering the fact that it's not something they get a prize card. Aside from preventing me from I almost said summoning, from bringing out a fossil Pokemon, it's not something that would actually puts my strategy back significantly. Oh. Then you have that double colorless. Let's finish this now. Oh, watch the 11 o'clock prize card be like one of the better ones. Watch, yeah, it brings out. Yeah, don't even mind. Yeah, I know what I want to do for this. We want to... Yeah, give another... Okay. So we deal 10 damage so that they do attack. Their attack isn't as powered up as it can get. Uh-huh. Okay. We will put on Squirtle in consideration of a future evolution into Wartortle and Blastoise. And Azurus redeemed a Sodor lore reading. We will take care of that real quick. There we go. And we will just remove this from the dock because we can't pause the music for the time being. So, this Brandom article is pretty long. How about... let's read about Toy Wreck. Okay. The hutments built by A.W. and Dry for his workplace beyond the first reclamation bank were rebuilt in permanent form as brick or stone cottages when footings became firm enough to support them. These formed the nucleus of a village. As work went on, more and more land to the west was drained and settled, mostly in plots of 1 or 2 acres. The soil, when leached of salt, proved fertile, and now supports prosperous market gardens. A heliport belonging to the Coast Guard Service is near the east bank of the river. Drya has 2 railway stations. One on the old harbor line is now a goods depot with a staff of 2 responsible to the station master of Elsbridge. It is near the village center. Workmen's trains stop here, as do most goods trains, and it is not unknown for goods guards to have a van full of passengers on market days for Elbridge or Knackford, as the case may be. The passenger station is on the main line. Somewhat away from that village, it is unstaffed and has a good car park, and a service of 7 trains each way is provided. Alright. Let's, Thank you, Azurus, for redeeming your XLO tokens for a Sodor lore reading. Yeah. Alright. And, Oh, I healed Cubone, huh? Yeah, advanced strats we're getting in this final duel. So, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, no damage. I was hoping to deal the confusion, but the damage didn't even. With the confusion, and we lost our coin flip for that. Takes 10 damage. Okay, I withdrew another water energy. How about... No, I didn't... why did I do that? That was kind of a silly thing to do. Considering I have this Ammonite right here. Okay. Wait, I have a seal. I actually have the opportunity to evolve into a Dugong. Alright. Confuse Ray again. And hopefully this time the confusion actually works. Oh, not this time. So next turn I'm going to use... Unless they use Snivel, which would render my damage... would nullify my any damage I dealt. Alright, put that Onyx on the bench because they won their coin flip. Oh my gosh, really? You're really trying so hard. Oh really? You're really gonna... You sucker. I'm gonna be very sorry if you knock out that Lapras. There's nothing I could do. You're gonna get knocked out. Might as well get him as close to knocked out as I can. Level 13 Cubone takes out a level 31 Lapras. I'm more than twice the level, but they were still able to take me out. That's... No! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh. Ugh. I just drew the wrong card. I was button mashing to get through the opponent's turn. And hold on. Let's see. The opponent's play area. I have 2 cards. Okay, that is one of those button mashing moments that really does just transform the outlook of the duel. But for now... Oh yeah, I do have... I can attack to some extent. The chip away a little more, and they're gonna take me out next turn if they attack like before. At least I'm not stuck with this Goldeen for too long. Yeah, instant KO. Okay, so this time, if he knocks out another one of my Pokemon, I lose. But now War Turtle's out, which is what should have happened. Oh my gosh, and I drew Blastoise. Let me check. Okay. I just want to check. Okay. Yes, he does have 3 energy. We're doing this evolution now. Hold on. Scratch right on the bridge of my nose, right beneath where my glasses sit on my nose. Okay. Hey, another water energy. Y'all in trouble. Okay. gonna attach... Yeah. There we go. Yeah, the nice thing about Blastoise is I could put energy cards on as I please. There's no one per turn limit with Blastoise on the field. Come on, hey. Okay. So they can't damage me, but I can't damage them. Mysterious Fossil, might as well play that. Alright, so Blastoise is maxed out. Might as well start building up Dugong, not that we'll need it. Alright. Well, that golem is just like, it looks like he's rolling while being on fire. And it's not all the intent, but all the red makes me, informs the idea of fire, even though that's not the case. God. Yeah, got unlucky there. Tails. You're really just stalling. He's just gonna stall indefinitely. And so, man, this stalling is so irritating. Okay. Tails. Good. Okay, now we can actually advance the scenario again. So I do my draw. And by the way, he's has fewer cards than me, so it came down to like, you know, trolling. If it came down to like just forcing him to outdraw, I've got that on him too. Yeah, if only I could. Had some way to get more than add another 10, I could have knocked him out this turn, but alright, well, we're knocking him out next turn. That's that. A done deal. Alright, and bam. 60 damage, only had to deal 10 to knock the Rhyhorn out, and that's that. And I draw my Squirtle, and I finally win one! Yay! Finally won a game. Let's get some real good cards. Let's get some Dratinis and Dragonairs, please. Check the cards that used to play. Okay, so Kabutops, Jolteon, Foister. Okay, that might be something like. Okay, more. Man, so many mysterious fossils. Like another Kabuto. I'm not playing with it. I have too many fossils, like mysterious fossils, but Kabuto and Kabutops in one pack. What are the odds? But we've got Flareon. I don't know, Cloyster. It's the only card I might consider adding out of this pack. Let's see what's in the second one. Mystery. Aerodactyl. Yeah. Nah. Tauros. Oh, another Omastar now. This might be interesting. Energy removal. Now that's interesting. So let's look in our... Let's check. Let's modify this deck. So let's see, in terms of Omastar, how many Omastars? Yes, we can add another Omastar to our deck. I think that's good. It's a good improvement. Only one Blastoise though. Seal, 3 out of 3, Tentacool. I have no colorless Pokemon in my deck anymore. Energy seems to be working well. Rather, let's see, Mysterious also got 4 of those. I'm getting rid of Computer Search. And Bill. We're gonna add Omastar. No, we're gonna add Omanite. Oh, we already have 4. Where's the Omastar? Okay, you have 3 out of 3 Omastars. The other one. Let's see. Gyarados. We don't have. We don't even have. Do we even have Magikarp? Huh. Interesting that we don't have Magikarp. We have Golduck, but no Psyduck. Alright. I want to add. There we go. Add some more energy. Improve our odds of getting an Omastar. Add more. Oh. Oh, that clock is correct. It is precisely correct to Eastern Standard Time. In fact, it's if you watch it, okay, every once in a while it'll resynchronize. It'll say warning, like synchronizing. Yeah, that my on-screen clock in my stream is my current time. Yeah, and it's almost 9 o'clock here. Yeah, this is synced off of time.gov, which is the U.S. Department of Commerce website that provides the official, like, atomically synchronized official United States time. Right before I had this this clock put in all of my layouts because I just like the idea of it. It was practical, useful. And then also the fact that it happened to be the case that when daylight savings came around, they slightly rearranged the layout of the website, so my capture of where the time was at changed. So all my times, like all my clocks were like ruined. I'm like, oh, fine, I'll just get rid of this feature. And then I realized once the daylight savings was over, the one I forgot to put it on worked again. I'm like, oh, that was just temporary for daylight savings. Okay. Yeah, so we'll save. So how about okay. We're gonna stream Pokemon Puzzle Challenge in category. Just so that if there's... I know there are people following it. Lots of people follow specific games that people won't stream under. They'd rather, strategically speaking, would rather stream under Retro. But my thinking is, if I put this on here, if I stream for a few, I'm only gonna play. I only plan to play this for a few more minutes. But now anyone is on there, if they look, they'll see that I played this, and they'll know that I'm someone they could come to if they expect to play those kinds of games. Alright. My goal is to last the entire remaining challenge. Wait. Try to get a high score in a limited time. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? Is there a 10-minute option in time zone? Do I have an option? Oh, no. I'm quitting. Okay, I can't choose the time. That would be cool if I could choose, like, okay, I want to play for 10 minutes and get the best score I could. Alright. Cyndaquil. You can't choose Quilava, so Cyndaquil is as close as we can get. Yeah, honestly, it's interesting to me, like, the fact that for these gameplay streams, like, 3 hours seems to work so well for me, but that, I know when I first started, my goal was always to stream for 2 hours, 10-minute break, then 2 more hours. Like, when I do magazine streams, it's easier to make it a little longer. You love Diverse Me? I haven't played any version of Puzzle League, whether it was, well, I never played Tetris Attack with anyone, but I used to play Pokemon Puzzle League with my mom on N64 back in the days, and my dad. Because we had N64 since, not too long after, since it was late 96 when we got our N64, not long after launch. And I, for one, we rented controllers a couple of times. We did not start buying more controllers. We rented Mario Kart, we didn't, but it was Pokemon Puzzle League that got us to actually start buying extra gamepads. Because, between Dr. Mario, 64, Pokemon Puzzle League, like, those puzzle games, those are what really got things to start getting torn up in terms of multiplayer, on-couch multiplayer wars over Pokemon and Dr. Mario. Yeah, I never played. We rented GoldenEye a couple of times. We rented Perfect Dark a couple of times. Me and my brother, my friends, we never played multiplayer GoldenEye. We never played multiplayer Perfect Dark. It was within my family. It was never with friends. My family and these puzzle games. That's what really brought us together. Yeah, even though a 3-hour stream is considered a very short format. Oh yeah, like, there are a number of, it's funny, there are a couple of different Yoshi-themed puzzle games on Game Boy and Super NES, but we did not have Super NES back then, because there was the one that was just called Yoshi, which is Mario, which is known in Japan and Europe as Mario and Yoshi, but in America it was just called Yoshi. And the funny thing about Yoshi is that game was made by Game Freak, who is the company that a few years later made this game, the original Pokémon. And the Mode B music it's either Mode B or C music from Yoshi, the puzzle game for Game Boy and NES. That music was reused in Pokémon as the theme for the Pokémon Center, the little hospital where you take your Pokémon to be healed. And that theme is now iconic in all Pokemon games. When you visit a Pokemon Center, you will always hear that music that originated in Yoshi, the puzzle game for Game Boy and NES. Now, there's another Yoshi-themed puzzle game. Unfortunately, I was not really aware. I was passively aware of it. I never thought, hey, Mom, there's another Yoshi game for Game Boy with, there's another puzzle game for Game Boy with Yoshi in it, and it's called Yoshi's Cookie. And it's funny, the Japanese title is Yoshi no Cookie, which makes it sound like you're baking cookies, and Yoshi's like sneaking up into the kitchen to try to sneak him out with his long prehensile tongue, like yum yum yum, and you'd be like, Yoshi no Cookie. But no, Yoshi no Cookie basically means Yoshi and the cookies in Japanese, effectively. No is kind of like a particle word, like and or the in English, where it doesn't have any meaning in and of itself, but it sort of spaces the other words in the sentence. But yeah, it's a game called Yoshi's Cookie, and what I didn't know until recently, there is another Yoshi's Cookie game in Japan that was a tie-in to a certain Japanese microwave or certain Japanese like electric oven. And it was a version of Yoshi's Cookie that was made to promote this oven, where you could play Yoshi's Cookie, but you also play this mode where it would give you like recipes on how to make the actual cookies from the game. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, Yoshi's Cookie, it was made by Bulletproof Software, and sadly I did not bother getting it for the, I think it was on the Wii U Virtual Console. I did not get that but for Wii U Virtual Console before it shut down, and it is not on the Super NES app on Nintendo Switch Online. And I do not have a means to play, and it's not on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. So I do not have any official means. I do not have any official means to play. I have a stream coming up on May 4th. Is May 4th? Hold on, let me look at my calendar back here. Oh, May 4th. Yes, I do have a stream coming up on May 4th. And which happens to be Star Wars Day. I think I know what I'll be playing on that day. I think I know. It will not be my anniversary. That will not be my streaming anniversary, probably. I'll have to depend on how things go in terms of what I do and don't have ready. There are a lot of factors as to when I will do. Either I will do my anniversary stream as early as possible in May or as late in May as possible. There's kind of no in between. There's a lot of weird factors going on behind the scenes as to when I'd like to do that. If I'm able to get it, if I'm able to do it rapidly enough. You know what? There's a Star Wars game I would be interested in playing. It's been on my list for a while. And it's a vintage game that I do have access to play a modern version of with the systems I currently have. But it's not something where I feel like if things don't work out in terms of my schedule, I might do a very different sort of stream on that Saturday. Yeah, because right now I'm streaming Fridays and Saturdays. Yeah, I'd have to work out some hardware. There's some software stuff I've already done the testing for my anniversary stream. There's some new hardware stuff I need to test. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow if I get the chance. Well, yeah, now that I'm not working on that autism video full time, I know I'll be able to. Now, if we can just make it... Yeah, when 9 o'clock rolls around, I'm going to put an end to the stream. Oh, and by the way, for those watching my stream live, that clock is going to be about 20 seconds out of sync with the actual official time on time.gov. But for me, as I'm streaming and looking at my broadcast software, it is perfectly synced with the actual time. I play Space Invaders? I was thinking of an actual Star Wars, like officially licensed Star Wars title. But that would be a good space game. The only version of Star Wars I played, we watched an old Disney documentary about space that predates Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin's flight, and Project Gemini, and all that. So it was everything was purely hypothetical. But I played Space Invaders during that, which was fun. But hey, it is now, for me, it is 9 o'clock p.m. and 22 seconds. So know when it's 9, so that'll give you a second. And after that's Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, I doubt I'll do my anniversary stream on the 3rd and 4th. But if I do it on the 3rd and 4th, yeah, at least, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there. Had a blast. So I I'm gonna be back on Saturday the 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. No, darn it, it's Friday, not Saturday. I updated the date and I was like, I will not forget to update the day of the week because I often forget when I do Saturdays and Wednesdays. I often forget one or the other, but no, I forgot to do. It's gonna be Friday the 19th, not Saturday the 19th. There's no Saturday the 19th in 2024. Maybe in a parallel universe, but it'll be Saturday the Friday the 19th at 6 p.m. and then the following Saturday, play a little more Pokemon trading card game, and we'll do some grinding for some high scores in Revenge of the Gator, and we'll be debuting Kirby's Pinball Land. And Kirby's Pinball Land, that's a game I played back when it came out. I borrowed it from a friend. I traded him some other game for it. I forgot what. But, yeah, I'll be playing a copy that, not my copy from back then. I didn't have a copy back then. I borrowed my friend's, and I returned it to him when I was done. But for me, I got my copy in, like, 2004 or 5, Kirby's Pinball Land. And Kirby's Pinball Land is a pinball game made by the same company that did Revenge of the Gator, so you can very clearly see they probably used, I don't think the term engine properly applies that we'd use nowadays, but I think the kernel, it might be called, from Revenge of the Gator, they definitely used it and spruced it up, bigger, brighter graphics using much better advantage of the Game Boy, because this is like 93 or 94 that Kirby's Pinball Land came out. Meanwhile, Revenge of the Gator came out the same year as the Game Boy, back in the 1980s and 89, believe it or not. And we'll also be dueling a little in Pokemon Trading Card Game. I think we'll be opening with Pokemon Trading Card Game, playing a couple of duels with our newly modified deck with better access with a new Omastar and some more water energy cards. I don't think we'll be having the energy supply problems that we suffered during our earlier duels today. And what else? Yeah, I think that about covers everything we'll be doing in our next stream. And I know 40 Line did say when he called that it's likely that the advanced controller will be calling us. And and here we have some music from Heiankyo Aliens promotion. Heiankyo Alien for Game Boy. That's a game I'd like to play sometime in the next couple of months. A Game Boy game, a Game Boy port from '91 of a 1970s PC maze game from Japan, a Japanese university. Well, it's PC. When I see PC, I mean like a mainframe computer that was partially speculated to partially have inspired Pac-Man. So it's a game I really do want to give a lot of coverage for and historical coverage on. Speaking of historical coverage, I will be getting out my magazines. We'll be doing some historical coverage in Nintendo Power, probably EGM, of the coverage of Kirby's Pinball Land and the times in which Kirby's Pinball Land was being released. So I will see you all next Friday. I'm very excited, and thank you all very much for watching.